Welcome back to the You and I Verse All Temple for the sun, planets, moon, and stars. I'll be your Lord of Hosts, Lord Messiah, and today we're going into, let's get it. It's for the nation.
In the name of Allah, the Father, and the Old Man, Justice, we honor the firstborn in the nation of gods and earths. Declaration for statehood, nationhood, nationality, and race for Allah's 5% nation-state. Declarations are statements made by states to clarify their understanding of certain provisions. They are not legally binding but can reflect customary law. Declarations can be treaties, interpretative instruments, informal agreements, or unilateral declarations with binding effects. We are not terrorists or sovereign citizens. We seek to establish our own state while respecting the sovereignty of other states. According to international law, a state must have a permanent population, defined territory, government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states. Producing an official population estimate requires an initial count and time adjustments based on demographic changes. We represent the original people of the defined territory and maintain our land under divine covenant. Initial population counts can be obtained through registries, censuses, surveys, or estimates. Time adjustments account for births, deaths, and migration. Our defined territory spans multiple regions and has grown internationally, covering 22 states. List of significant locations and regions within our defined territory. Our airspace is defined as Class G, and we navigate internationally at authorized altitudes. Our water space includes all bodies of water connected to our land. The holy city of Mecca is located in Harlem, New York. Our government is guided by laws that ensure peace, freedom, justice, and equality for all nationals. Our organizational structure includes various boards and trusts to manage our estates and international relations. Our decentralized organization functions as multiple state entities, each with specific roles and responsibilities. We have the capacity to enter into relations with other states, ensuring our obligations and respect for international law. We are descendants of the original peoples of the Americas and do not subscribe to misnomers that negate our identity. Our nationality is expressed through our cultural and national customs, which align with international customary laws. Our customs include greetings of peace, wearing crowns, participating in national business, and celebrating our history and culture. Our national anthem, shared regions, and the importance of Allah and justice are highlighted. We also emphasize the significance of our supreme mathematics and the application of supreme alphabets. We discuss the importance of self-defense, the knowledge of self, and the wisdom of understanding. We also highlight our international customary laws and our identity as Allah's 5% nation-state. Our nationality law defines our jurisdiction and identity as Allah's 5% nation-state. We are the original people of Allah's 5% nation. We declare our claim for adverse possession by Allah's 5% nation of gods and earths, emphasizing our goal of land ownership. The purpose of the declaration of claim for adverse possession is to seek lawful ownership through various means such as quiet title claim, negotiation, simple occupation, awareness of trespassing, and good faith mistake. We affirm our continuous, open, notorious, exclusive, and adverse possession of the property located at 2122 Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard, Harlem, New York, for 60 years. We declare our claim for adverse possession with full knowledge of the facts, emphasizing our continuous and open possession of the property. We present case law in support of adverse possession, highlighting the legal precedents that justify our claim. The 99-year lease from Mayor Lindsay Duala and his 5% nation is a land-backed asset, serving as asset-backed security with full faith and credit of the United States. We introduced the UNI Ver All Constitution for Allah's 5% nation state, establishing our foundational principles. A constitution is the fundamental law of a sovereign body, defining the structure of government and guaranteeing civil liberties. The constitution of a state determines the manner in which public authority is executed, outlining the rights and duties of governors and the governed. The preamble of the UNI Ver All Constitution establishes our commitment to peace, freedom, justice, and equality, and our relations with other organizations. We discuss the equality degree and national affiliation, highlighting the roles and responsibilities of the Allah School in Mecca and its international organization. Our financial plan is based on non-taxable events and indirect taxation, ensuring the financial independence of our school body. We emphasize the importance of tax avoidance and the advantages of our divine trust in achieving financial objectives. Our divine trust is flexible and can be adapted to various lawful and noble purposes, providing financial security and protection. The divine trust performs services as an escrow agent, ensuring the validity and effectiveness of its actions and protecting the interests of the school body. We introduce the UNI Ver All Charter for Allah's 5% nation state, outlining the highest law of our entity. A charter is a legal document that grants specific rights and responsibilities to a group, defining the structure and purpose of an institution. A charter is a formal document that grants rights and privileges, often used for significant organizations like intergovernmental bodies. The concept dates back to the Magna Carta of 1215, with modern examples including the United Nations Charter of 1945. The purpose of developing an international organization for nations and states is to create a platform for resolving conflicts and promoting peace. This involves addressing various political, social, and economic issues to ensure mutual benefit and cooperation. The Board for Divine Trusteeship oversees the Aliyu Justice Estates, ensuring the proper management and administration of these divine trust territories. The Board for Divine Trusteeship is responsible for the administration and management of Aliyu Justice Estates, ensuring the best interests of stakeholders and beneficiaries are met. A trust territory is governed for the benefit of its inhabitants, with the Board for Divine Trusteeship overseeing its administration. This ensures political, economic, and social growth and development. A state entity controls or influences another entity's management and policies, while state authority refers to the organs of a state that exercise legislative, executive, or judicial power. Divine trustees aim for self-governance and independence through decolonization, which involves a state withdrawing from colonial control to become politically independent. Divine trustees have land rights within the Aliyu Justice Estates, which include the right to use, control, and manage the territory for the benefit of its inhabitants. Utah Possedatus jurisdiction ensures that newly independent states inherit pre-independence boundaries, maintaining territorial integrity and sovereignty. The goal of decolonization is supported by the General Assembly Resolution 1514, which emphasizes self-governance and independence for colonial countries and peoples. Resolution 1541 outlines that a territory can achieve self-government through independence, free association, or integration. Resolution 2625 adds that a territory can also achieve self-government through any other freely determined political status. The Board for Divine Trusteeship aims for self-governance through independence, free association, and freely determined political status, excluding integration as a means to true independence. Free association involves forming relationships between groups while maintaining individual rights. Integration means combining different elements into a whole, but the Board prefers independence and free association. Integration involves knowing the earth belongs to the original man and promoting equality among all races, inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s philosophy. The Board for Divine Trusteeship includes various roles such as vicegerent, administrator, steward, trustee, escrow agent, treasurer, and administrator for foreign affairs. The self-executed UNI Ver All Treaty aims for peace, freedom, justice, and equality under the name of Allah and justice. A treaty is a formal agreement between states or international organizations, creating rights and obligations under international law. Self-executing law refers to laws that take effect without further action, while a self-executing treaty is directly applied in courts without additional legislation. The table of contents outlines the provisions for the self-executed UNI Ver All Treaty, including definitions, governing laws, and declarations for self-determination and peace. Exploring the concept of peace, we delve into peace enforcement, peacekeeping, and peace operations. These efforts aim to build peace through ceasefire truces and humanitarian assistance, among other strategies. The implementation mechanisms for peace include truce for ceasefire, peacekeeping forces, and security guarantees. Key issues in designing these provisions are also discussed. Full agreement for the peace treaty involves communication of the framework and vital provisions. Strategies by the United Nations for preserving peace, law, and order are highlighted. Freedom encompasses rights such as freedom of expression, thought, religion, and peaceful assembly. It also includes the right to life, liberty, privacy, and equal political participation. Justice involves respect for human rights and equality of opportunity. It addresses unjust behavior, refugee status, prisoner release, and dispute resolution. Enforcement of the peace treaty in courts includes treaties with surety and supremacy clauses. Rights to a fair trial and standard arbitration options are also discussed. Equality covers equal rights for men and women, protection of children, and rights of legal guardians. Economic infrastructure development and financial regulations are also included. International humanitarian aid, anti-corruption provisions, and labor laws are essential components. Employment plans and labor standards are also highlighted. A writ for the schedule of fees by accommodation includes various fee schedules for claims, filings, and interrogations. Additional fees for third parties are also mentioned. Acceptance of presentments without contract and interference with trustee duties are discussed. Property search, seizure, and interference with commerce are also covered. Rules of interaction between law enforcement and nationals include identification, verification, and enforcement of rights. Emergency contacting and handcuffing procedures are also outlined. A lawful/legal notice to military and law enforcement outlines various legal protections and rules. It includes protection of property and civil action for deprivation of rights. The notice continues with additional legal protections and rules, including civil remedies and criminal penalties. Exclusion clauses and general exemptions are also mentioned. Final clauses for the treaty cover validity, treaty obligations, and error corrections. Ratification, accession, and interpretation of treaties are also included. The Declaration for Peace, Freedom, Justice, and Equality incorporates these rights into domestic laws. It applies to various boards and organizations involved in peacekeeping and governance. Annexation involves instruments of accession, ratification, and certifying statements. These instruments are crucial for the formalization of agreements. The instrument of accession is a formal declaration by a government to adopt the treaty. It is signed and sealed by an authorized representative. The instrument of full powers authorizes a representative to negotiate and sign the treaty. It is a crucial step in the treaty adoption process. A certifying statement confirms the authenticity and completeness of the treaty text. It is certified by an authorized representative and includes translations. The Allah Justice Estates is a decentralized organization for autonomy and foreign affairs. It highlights key figures in the organization's emblem. Under the provisions set forth in the Articles for organization of this foreign limited liability company, this foreign LLC shall be governed. First and foremost, the private, proper, and unregistered trademark name of the foreign limited liability company is Masiah Justice, Decentralized Organization for Autonomy F.L.L.C. Copyright. The public and fictitious registered name under which the foreign limited liability company will do business in New York is TM Allah Justice, Decentralized Organization for Autonomy F.L.L.C. Copyright. The limited liability company law requires the fictitious name to contain the words limited liability company or the abbreviation FLLC or FLLC. TM Allah Justice, Decentralized Organization for Autonomy F.L.L.C. Copyright is named Allah Justice. The token used is Allah Justice. The use cases include governance, funding allocation via convertible currency which is widely traded in international foreign exchange markets. The network is Allah Justice, cryptocurrency, with a launch date of July 21, 2024 and is in operation since July 21, 2024. The administrative jurisdiction of TM Allah Justice, Decentralized Organization for Autonomy F.L.L.C. Copyright shall be under the provisions set forth in the Articles for organization of this foreign limited liability company. This foreign LLC is a foreign entity and shall be governed under the jurisdiction of the State of New York/New York State, although doing business near the State of New York/New York State. The territorial jurisdiction of TM Allah Justice, Decentralized Organization for Autonomy F.L.L.C. Copyright shall function as a state entities under the state authority of Mala's 5% nation state copyright within the formal designation of borders defined as Masiah Justice Estates, Divine Trust Territories Copyright. The county within New York State in which the office of the Foreign Limited Liability Company is to be located, or if the Foreign Limited Liability Company shall maintain more than one office in this state, the county within New York State in which the principal office of the Foreign Limited Liability Company is to be located is county. The Secretary of State is designated as agent of the foreign limited liability company upon process against it may be served. The address within or without this state to which the Secretary of State shall mail a copy of any process served against him or her is 2122 and 2124 Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard, Harlem, New York 10027, without the United States / New York State / State of New York. The foreign limited liability company is not required to maintain an office in the jurisdiction of its formation. The address within or without this state to which the foreign limited liability company is to be located is 2122 and 2124 Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard, Harlem, New York 10027, without the United States / New York State / State of New York. This form was prepared by the New York State Department of State for filing an application for authority for a foreign limited liability company to conduct business in New York State. It does not contain all optional provisions under the law. You are not required to use this form. You may draft your own form or use forms available at legal supply stores. Attach a certificate of existence or good standing or certificate of status from the jurisdiction of the foreign limited liability company's formation. The name of the foreign limited liability company and its date of formation provided on this document must exactly match the name of the foreign limited liability company and, if applicable, the date of formation stated in the certificate of existence, certificate of good standing, or certificate of status. The Department of State recommends that legal documents be reviewed under the guidance of an attorney. The application for authority must be submitted with a $250 filing fee made payable to the Department of State. For office use only.
All of this is being put together for the gods and earths.
TM Allah U Justice Estates, multinational franchise copyright is introduced with its emblem, symbolizing its mission and vision. In honor of Allah and Justice, franchiser, established on July 21, 2024. TM Allah U Justice Estates, multinational franchise copyright shall exist as the matter of law and of fact, established through our franchise disclosure document and franchise agreement. What treaty provisions make this franchise agreement multinational? Pursuant to and under agreement with the self-executed Universal Treaty for Peace, Freedom, Justice and Equality, the TM Allah U Justice Estates, multinational franchise copyright shall adopt said treaty provisions entitled Economic Infrastructure and the following provisions as well: development of transnationalism, extending or operating across national boundaries. A large company operating internationally, a multinational. Formal designation of borders, natural resources, financial arrangements for border disputes, financial regulations, free market trade, tax collection, privacy/data, management of national resources, intellectual property, settling of existing debts, international humanitarian aid, customs and duties, anti-corruption provisions, commercial provisions, women's issues, child labor, domestic employment, employment plan, employment, individuals employed internationally, labor laws, and labor standards.
Covers a lot. Covers all the grounds we need to cover. And there's a whole lot more. We just need the people to get in the seats so we could get this in operation. Peace to the nation of gods of earth. The world awaits us.